All right, bang, bang. Today's Thursday. It's August 19th. Welcome to the Dog Walk presented by Barstool Sports. Two guests in studio here, joined by two local comedians, Chris Bader, Joe Kilgallen. Boys, welcome to the show. How are we?
I'm great, man. Thanks for having me. I wanted to talk before Chris. That's very important to me. Yeah, this is great, Eddie. Thanks for having us. This place is amazing.
Glad you like it, Chris. What your thoughts on him wanting to steal the first comment?
I'm okay with it. I'm okay. I like Joe a lot, so we're good.
Age before beauty or whatever.
I'm good. I'm good. Well, I wouldn't say there's much beauty on my side, but yeah, it's good. It's awesome to be here. Love your new office. Congrats late on the digs.
Yeah, so we were saying earlier, you were one of the few people that were at the old ones when it was just the one room, which was just the worst.
I didn't want to say anything when I walked in there, and I brought some pizzas from work, and I came in and I was just looked at it and I said, "Wow, you guys are really doing it."
Yeah,
I was like, tough. "Are you guys hungry?" I felt like you were just four guys that needed to get fed.
Yeah, pretty much.
It's like a college care package.
There you go. At that time, it was very much like that, and we didn't have places to put the pizzas. It was that small. It was that bad. But anyways, Chris, can you tell us about your bad dick problems? Are you able to disclose that at all?
My bad dick problems?
Yeah, don't you?
Which ones?
How many you got, buddy? They definitely has that, like, if they're going to cast a new, like, what is it? Like, what, Hims commercial? Hims is the new
Well, I got something better for
Viagra.
you. See,
he's got the right amount of drag.
This was an ad transition.
I do have some bad dick problems, and I would be lucky to get some stuff from Eddie to help me out.
From Roman.
From Roman, because I need Roman, because there's a lot of times where I'm with a pretty girl, I'm having a good time, consensually, and we're dancing, we're having fun, and she says, "Hey, let's go back to your place," and I think my place is kind of messy, so I'm going to tell her, "Hey, I've been robbed on the way in, so if it looks too messy, she'll know that, it was a burglarized place." And I say, "Let me run to my front drawer," and I pop a Roman, and I'm ready to go. And there's also those swipes, which really helped me too.
Look at this guy. He's got it now. So I wasn't putting you on blast about a bad dick. I was just saying, let's get into the Roman.
Everybody needs a Roman.
Yes.
And I'm not just talking about the Roman Empire, because at this point it'd be good to have him back, but yeah.
We got another ad coming too, and I'm going to come at you with the next one.
All right, I'm excited.
So
I'm pumped up. I wanted that one though. That one's good. Not that I have any problems in the dick game, but
exactly.
I like a little sugar on my cereal, right? Why not? Improve a good thing.
But if you are having problems in the dick game, make sure you're Roman ready. Go to getroman.com/Barstool now to talk to a U.S. licensed healthcare professional. Roman's very discreet, unmarked packaging. That's important, right, guys?
Yes.
Yeah. Don't want anyone to see, that you need a little bit of help, but don't be afraid to say you need a little bit of help.
Exactly. So go do it. Like I said, very straightforward, convenient. You don't got to leave your house. GetRoman.com/Barstool today. And if you're prescribed, you get 50% off, 50. Your first month of ED treatment. Make sure you're ready to have confidence and control this summer and fall and winter, whenever. Be Roman ready. All right. Sorry, Chris. I didn't mean to do that to you.
No, it's okay.
So how are we? So we're here today. Why are we here? Because Bader, you had a great idea.
Well, it was a shared idea. I had an idea. I called Eddie up, and I've known Eddie for 3 years now?
Yeah.
4 years? Mm-hmm. Almost 4 years. So I called Eddie up. I said, "Hey, let me know when you get a second." Gave him a call, and I said, "I want to do something for Officer Ella French, who is no longer with us. She died with honor, and I thought, hey, we got to do something for this person." To my extent, what I thought of was just do a comedy show, give all ticket sales, all the door to her family, the CPD Memorial Fund that goes straight to them. And Barstool's done so many amazing things already. You guys are almost at 300,000 just for merch. And I know the Stoolies support the police. I support the police. And I just said, "Eddie, can you help me?" And I called you, and I thought it'd be fun for you to MC a show. You interview the comics between. That'd be a good time.
And then Joe, he's a Northwest Side guy too. You knew you had to jump on or you'd be kicked out of the neighborhood.
I would, yeah. I figured I got to get in on this. I still like my free shots at several establishments. Yeah, no, it was a really good cause. You and I both went to the same high school group on the Northwest Side, so I have a lot of respect for police officers, and especially someone who dies in the line of duty, given their life. It was just a no-brainer. I wanted to get involved and outshine Chris on stage as often as I can. So
it happens.
So that's next week. So next Thursday, the 26th, I'll have the link to the Eventbrite in the blog. I'll have it in the podcast description. If you could make it out, come out, hang out, And to a good cause. It'll be Chris, Joe, and then we have Corey and Pat Tomasulo.
Yeah, Corey Bell, Pat Tomasulo. Corey Bell is super funny, Chicago comedian. She's
funny.
So funny. I mean, she's like brilliant. And she's been touring a lot with Monique, but she is awesome. And right away when I told her, she said, I'm in, put me in, donate my pay. I don't want any pay. Donate everything to the cause. So
cool. Well, good. Well, it should be a good night. Do you guys? Is that a thing? Do you hate like is there comedians you won't perform side by side with?
There's a
that's definitely a thing. The way your fucking face was for sure.
Everyone's got a couple comedy enemies, but unfortunately, sometimes you just have to play with them. It's like, I'm sure Anthony Rizzo wasn't thrilled about Chapman being traded to the Cubs because they had a pass, but at the same regard, it's like, you got to do what you got to do.
Yeah.
And then you just talk mad shit about them later, Yeah. And, you tell all the women in the crowd they got dick problems and because they're not going to Roman. That's what they're doing wrong. But Bader and I used to be enemies. We're best friends now, right? We got past. No, I'm kidding. We've always been tight. But yeah, there's definitely some people out there you want to give shit to. And by the way, just so everyone knows, next Thursday is going to be, obviously it's for a great cause of someone who's passed and passed with honor, like you said, Chris. But it's going to be a fun celebration. Think of it like Irish wake style. You know what I mean? It's not good. I don't want, because I had some people being like, oh man, it sounds like going to be sad.
Yeah.
No, it's a comedy show.
Well, it's not going to be the bagpipes coming out between every scene.
Yeah,
exactly.
I actually think the funeral was yesterday or today that it happened. Like she's been laid to rest. But this is to remove everyone from their problems. Like we want to make you laugh. That's our job
Absolutely.
as a comedian. So you come in and you laugh your ass off. Joe's on Weed Street. We have drinks. We have some of their pizza, which is good, and that's it. Like this is to make everyone forget. It's not going to be a bunch of jokes about police and this. It's just to have fun, and we'd love for people to come out.
Yeah, and it's just. A lot of people wouldn't even do it, probably, I assume, because of how things are. But, we don't.
Yeah.
We don't got to get into the whole thing.
Take that shit out of the equation, right? Because
exactly.
it's so much more than that. It's again, someone who did a great thing and served this city well. And it's more about civic pride at that point. And again, at the end of the day, it's about having fun and, celebrating what was. Mm-hmm. And then, you have to have a good time with it. Obviously not with what happened, but like as Chris said, this is like a celebration of a great life, and we're gonna have a blast. It's gonna be a lot of fun. I highly encourage everyone to come on out because there'll be some drinking. There'll be Chris. I don't know if you've ever been to a Chris Bader show. Despite how he carries himself, Chris Bader knows the hottest women in the city of Chicago and incredibly good-looking dudes. I did a show with Chris at Joe's on Weed Street a week ago. And it was nothing but dudes who knew a lot about cryptocurrency and women who have embraced all the latest trends in bikinis, which you and I talked about with them afterwards. You notice how, when we were little kids, we were like, man, it'd be really cool if women's bathing suits got even smaller.
Yeah.
And every year of our lives, they were like, sure, yeah, we'll do that for you. I was talking to the women in the crowd about this because I could just pick up the vibe. Mm-hmm. And one annoyed me, though, because she said, yeah, I'll wear a thong bikini if I'm in Vegas, but not in Chicago. And I'm like, really? Oh, so you're going to flex the cheeks at the Tropicana, but not at North Avenue? I thought that was rude on her part, and I wanted to call her out on it. And then she later agreed that she was going to start with Montrose and work her way up and down the coast. I told her take it to Loyola Beach even. I feel like if you're going to wear a thong in Vegas, you're going to wear a thong in Chicago.
See, that makes sense to me, though. Like, I feel like girls have certain that are only for Vegas. Like, they probably have a pair of heels that they've only worn there.
I guess that's true.
Right?
Yeah, like girls, I mean...
Well, as a guy, do you have a suit that you only bust out? Chris looks like he has multiple suits.
I just have
you and I have one for rakes.
I just have one baby large, and then it gets into the XL territory, and I put that on. That's it. I maybe have had the same bathing suit for the last 7 years. And it just fluctuates. I have two colors.
I said suit. I was talking about a suit, like
like an actual.
Yeah, because when you pivoted to heels, I was thinking we would talk about everything.
So suit.
Well, we were talking bathing suits at first because the woman said she only works the one specific style for Vegas, and then it's like, all right, I guess you do have. There are certain things that you wear. No, like
you're not going to wear. Okay, if you live in Chicago and you wear white pants, like you're just a dude that wears white pants, like you're a jagoff. Like if you're gonna wear like white jeans or white pants out, like maybe, Memorial Day barbecue or 4th of July, or you'll wear them in Vegas, or you'll wear it in the party cities.
See, I'm just a different person, man. If it's good enough for one city, it's good enough for them all. I understand that too, though. If I'm going to like a hayride somewhere, I'm not gonna rock my Lululemon khakis, you know.
I don't own white pants, by the way. I just want people to know that I don't own white pants.
You definitely own white pants.
I was 25, we went to Acapulco. I wore white pants and the white loafers. But I don't have them anymore.
That surprises nobody, by the way.
No, if you go out and you wear white pants in like Miami or some shit, you get a free pass, right? Like if you wore them out here, you get roasted.
Yeah, no, okay, that's fair.
Like, you know.
I'll backtrack and admit I'm wrong. That's what we need more of, people admitting when they're wrong about shit. You made a good point. If you are in Vegas, you got to do a fun little Miami Vice, photo shoot with some of your buddies, right? You got to roll up the sleeves a little and get into it. If you're in Austin, I'm sure we'll throw a cowboy hat while we're stuffing our face with wings. I guess when in Rome, I feel like it keeps going back to the word Rome. What's the dick pills again? Are they Roman or
Roman?
Roman.
They're Roman ready.
This ad is over. But Eddie, when's the last time you went to Vegas?
So I actually went 2 months ago.
Shut up. For what?
So I went. It was honestly kind of wild. One of the guys who is he's in the Chernin Group, which is like the company that bought Barstool before Penn. And I met him here for a couple drinks, and we started talking about gambling. And I was like, oh, I love tables, like this and that. He's like, oh, like I'm actually going to Vegas tomorrow. I was like, do you want to go? And I'm like, nah, you know what I mean? He's like, I'm going with my friends. It's just like an empty offer. Like, hey, you want to come? It's like, no. He's like, no, I'm serious. Like, I'll book you a flight right now. I'll give you this. And I ended up going. This guy books me a flight. Mike Kearns is his name. He books me a flight. I go for 27 hours. There and back. He gets me a real, like, it was a very, very, like, unique trip, I guess. It's not, smashing four guys into a two-bed queen, you know what I mean? It was a lot different. So that was my last time. It was a cool trip.
Do you go to Vegas?
I went to Vegas too much in one spin. Look, I like Vegas, but you can overdo it. I lived in LA from like 2014 to 2017, and I want to say 2015 I went to Vegas like 4 times within a calendar year. That's too much. And by the way, everyone, when you drive into Vegas, it's a lot different than flying in. When you fly in, there's an excitement. You're pumped up, right? The plane's coming down. You're looking out the window. You're seeing the casinos. If you're flying at night, too, especially, it's lit up. When you drive in and you're waiting to take a right turn into your hotel's parking lot, and the grossest people from Gary, Indiana are walking slowly across and they won't move enough for you to even get in, and it's a whole thing, you're not as pumped up. You're kind of like, I'm going to take a nap and then re-energize and then maybe go to the pool for a few cocktails before I lose money on over-unders, It's a little different vibe. I do like Vegas, though. What about you? When were you last there?
So you brought it up, right? Yeah. Well, I mean, we used to do a trip when I was in college, and I had never gambled before. I was 21 years old, and I had never gambled. And a bunch of my buddies said, hey, let's go to Vegas. And you're in college. We went to University of Illinois. Everyone had $400. The flights were like $70 or something. I mean, for me, this is 17 years ago or whatever. So we stay at the Hard Rock. And it was in the fall. A lot of 4 or 5 of the guys didn't know how to gamble either. We all learned very quickly. And obviously we started to like it a lot. And we decided to go back in the summers because everyone said, well, you're not going to gamble as much in the summers because there's pool parties. And it's just a bunch of guys who worked in different bars at University of Illinois Champaign, and everyone had the same summer break because everyone's out for school. So we went every year for 5 years. And that was fun. It was a good time. But there's always 3 or 4 guys in the group that just can't get away from the tables. So once we went to the pool parties, those 3 or 4 guys were at the water tables because you could gamble at the water. So they're gambling at those tables. So all of us are like red faced, tan from the whole weekend. These guys are just pale white because they were just gambling like 24/7 the whole time. And I had a blast, but I just went too many times, and I didn't go for 5 years. And then I went to the drive thing that you said. We drove from L.A. Yeah. It shows in L.A. We drove to Vegas. That drive is not fun. It's like almost 4 hours. Your air conditioning's on like as low as it can go because it's so hot. And you drive in, and I went to Vegas, and I was just like, why did I come back? It was just I mean, we lost everything.
It takes the sexiness out of Vegas to drive in there. You know what I mean?
I thought it was gonna be like the Tom Cruise, like him and like in Rain Man, where like the thing's down.
That's why Swingers is a better movie than Rain Man, because Swingers shows them getting bored on that drive. You know, where they're just like, "Are we there yet?" They stop for gas. Yeah, it's 4 hours, which isn't even that bad. I remember the first time I drove from there, I met up with a bunch of Northwest Side guys, and they do it right. I'll give some of my friends credit. My boy John Denke listening. And what they do is they go the first weekend in October because there's still good NFL. Like that's when football's really starting to hit its stride.
Oh, yeah.
And baseball playoffs are ramping up. And October in Vegas is still very much pool season.
Yeah,
because it's like 85
warm,
degrees
yeah.
there. Where of course it's pool season in July, but it's 115. You know what I mean? It's just so hot. October, I think, is one of the best weather months for that city. And I remember leaving LA I think I left on a Thursday at 8 a.m. And by 12:30, I had a beer in my hand, legs in the pool. And I'm a very pasty guy. I'm 100% Irish. I'm like the sun hates my guts. So my move is, I got the swimsuit on, but I'm wearing like a cool like button-up shirt where I could take the top 2 buttons down.
Yeah.
I get my hair wet. I throw some water on the hair from the pool. I'm rocking shades, drink in hand, and just the legs are in the pool. I never fully get in the pool, Eddie. Because then people go, why do you have your shirt on in the pool? But you could be on the edge of the pool with the shirt on still. You could still rock that. That's still a good
How
appeal.
do the feet look, though?
For that weekend, they're pretty good. Lately, not so good, man. But they're pretty sharp.
You
but
take
right
care
now,
of your feet, don't you, Bader?
I do.
Yeah?
I do. Guys, like,
Look at that watch. Of course he takes care of his feet.
Yeah.
I feel like I'm being attacked, but I
because you're...
But I kind of like it. So yeah, I mean,
Well, you just got nice skin, so I just figure you...
I have the olive skin. I'm
Yes,
Persian.
exactly.
But like I said, I've looked 39 years old since I was 16. Like, and I just have that problem.
Really? Did you
Yeah.
look that old when you were that
I
young?
was always the guy. They'd be like, "Yo, go buy us beer," and I'm like,
Yeah.
"Okay." And I'm like, senior in high school, and I have a full mustache and a unibrow, and I'm like, "I'm here to buy the beer," and like, but I'd do it in an accent so it would confuse the guy, like the guy like the Carlos Liquors. Remember the Carlos Liquors before it became what's that big? I forgot what the name of it is, but that big whatever liquor conglomerate. They own all the
Binny's?
Benny's, yeah. It was like the Carlos Liquor. So I'd go.
Yeah, I forget Benny's, bro.
Jewel, too? What else do you need
He
help
bought all these
remembering?
DeCarlos liquors. It became Benny's. It was called DeCarlos before. The DeCarlo family owned it.
Oh, I was like, certainly it can't be Benny's. Benny's is too
It's
big
too
to forget.
easy to-
Yeah.
Foremost? What do you think? I thought I was trying to figure out what he was
Miskas?
Yeah, Miskas.
Yeah.
Oh, I love Miskas.
I forgot McDonald's. No, I didn't. Trust me, I didn't forget McDonald's.
No, I could just say, though, I think we're only giving you a little bit of shit because you tend to self-deprecate yourself, which is crazy because, dude, you got the perfect, like, I hope my hair goes gray like that.
It looks
Look
nice.
at this,
It
man.
does.
He's got fantastic hair. Whatever
I'm single.
guard you're trimming on,
I'm
keep
single.
it, man.
I want everyone out there, all the listeners, to know.
Good
I know it's
summer look.
94% men, but
Well,
just so they know.
If you're going to say that, drop the handle. I mean,
Yeah, at Chris Bader. If you just slide into my DMs, I'll get you a hot dog.
They're open.
yeah, exactly.
Get you a hot dog. What kind of? All right, man. Whatever you
No,
want to
I
learn.
meant like, I want to see what you put on your dog.
Okay.
I don't.
Are you one of those people that cares about that?
I don't. I put ketchup on it.
Yeah.
I am like I'll be ousted by people, but
I'm gonna be honest too. I put ketchup on as well, man.
Do you?
Right?
You know why? When I was like a little kid, my dad hates me for it, but I was like 4. They were showing me like Chicago style hot dog, right?
Yeah.
And I just learned that ketchup comes from tomatoes. And so when I said, I'm like, instead of putting those tomatoes on there, why don't I just put ketchup on there? Which I think is very logical when you think
Makes
about
sense.
it, right? And my dad's like, no. And I was like, no, I want to put ketchup on. So what I do is I do mostly a Chicago dog, but I add ketchup.
Okay.
I don't do ketchup on a Polish or a brat though.
Oh, okay. Well, it's just that.
I don't know. I just something about mustard
tube?
with it's thicker tube. Absolutely, man.
Yeah,
For real.
But I don't know. I don't think it's a big deal. Like people who get up into the shape, I'm like, but like, what are you doing?
all right, but you put ranch on pizza.
I think certain pizza, it's like fine, right? Like if you're, what kind of pizza you're getting, right? Like I always hate the people like, how could you order Pizza Hut in Chicago? It's like, well, you know what I mean? Sometimes you just
That buffet they used to have was
Dude, it was like nice in
Dude.
college. We crushed that thing.
cinnamon sticks they had, and yeah, we used to go all the time. It was if you had a half day, we'd go to the one over by Harlem and Irving Plaza.
Dude, that one
my
was the
God.
best. Yeah.
You'd
I
be
wasn't
so
pathetic about my
sick.
friends.
You'd
Well,
be
a couple of
so
my friends tried to dine and dash, and I'm like, it's a $5 meal. Why are you trying to dine and dash
Yeah.
at a Pizza Hut right now?
Yeah, exactly.
For the thrill of it, Winona Ryder, what are you doing, man? You gotta.
Well, I gotta admit, before I went to Illinois, we went to Lincoln College in Lincoln, Illinois, which is like a small.
It's a soccer school. Did you play soccer there?
No. I was in theater. So I was a thespian.
That's cool.
I'll give you guys a monologue in a second. But we went there and they had a complaint log at the McDonald's there. It's very dishonest of me, but we just didn't have any money, and we were 19, so you'd get like a 20 piece, or you'd order, and then you'd call and you'd say, hey, I'm missing, a couple cheeseburgers, and she's like, let me put it in the complaint log, and then a couple of us would go the next day and we'd get the free cheeseburgers. And looking back on that was bad. I feel bad.
That's actually, you know what? I actually think that's like a kind of a more honorable move. Have you ever done the smash and whatever? Like the grab and go?
No. What's the grab and go?
That was a thing with
It was.
some kids in my neighborhood. They'd be like, all right, you hop out of the car, you're in one car, you order everything, and then when you pull up to the drive-thru, leave enough room where your buddy can run right through and just like grab the handle. Like I swear to, if you've heard of that, right?
Of course, Milwaukee and Elston McDonald's, man. I know what you're talking
Someone
about.
would
You
just-
take it before you.
Oh yeah, barbarically just boom and just rip the hand off out of the lady's arms. And then, like, you'd be like, what the fuck? And then she would just have to give you a new one.
Yeah, they thought it was someone robbed from both you, and really they didn't.
See, that's what I'm saying. What you did is more honorable than that.
Yeah. I also, look, you don't want to steal anybody, but some of these mega corporations, they don't even notice, and they're stealing from you anyway.
Guys,
most
I
of the
stole
time.
from McDonald's.
Yeah,
okay?
it's okay. No one's, there's no
I think
warrant
they still
coming.
made it. But you know what's funny is during COVID, it got really like buildings, like all the high rises in Chicago, not high rises, but like Old Town, if there's a mid rise or whatever. If you had a doorman, they'd say they had a table, contactless table. A lot of kids started boozing up last summer, and they would just go grab the order. So you get back to your building, it's someone else's order, but you beat them to it. You come back from the bars that were like half open, and they would just grab the food and go upstairs.
Yeah.
That's how that's going down.
It's here. Yeah, no, that's definitely happening. But do you want someone else's shit?
No, most of the time you don't.
No.
That's why I never understood the people who
gotta
are
be
stealing
hammered.
Amazon packages, because it's such a high risk, low reward theft. Again, I'm anti-stealing. By the way, we're all like, we're pro
you
cops.
just
Here's
said-
all our stealing stories.
We're giving everyone strategies. Is what
Basically,
we're doing.
but like whenever a couple of Christmases ago is when I first started to like pop up people stealing Amazon packages off of porches, and I'm like, you don't know what's in that package, and if you get caught, it's how dumb would you feel if you got arrested stealing Amazon packages and it's like someone bought 5,000 tooth floss things or whatever just in bulk, and you're an idiot who thought you could resell that on the black market. It just
But it's a fucking rush. You get the AirPods. Like, I got AirPods like a year ago.
those are a game changer, aren't
And
they?
yeah, they're a game changer, yes.
They're
Actually,
amazing.
I had the Bose ones, and they're actually better, but whatever. Neither here nor there. But the packaging that came in, I was like, what's this? Like, because I had ordered something else. Like, just, you would never have thought. You know what I mean? It just looked something. I forgot what they wrapped it with, and I was like, man, this would have been like a nice little snatch for someone.
That is true. There is something about those little adrenaline rushes. It's almost like a little heist. I remember we were talking about fast food earlier. This popped in my head the other day because I drove by a Wendy's. One time I got Wendy's. I'm getting real geographical for your Chicago listeners here. I got the Wendy's off of Harlem and Higgins, right?
Yeah.
Got drive through, and I'm driving to a gig in Lincoln Park. So I'm on the Kennedy, and I'm, when you drive, you eat the fries while you go. Everybody does. You're a liar if you don't eat the fries while you drive. And the traffic was bad, so I went to reach for the burger, and I knew the burger was wrong before I even unraveled it. Like, you could tell by the weight of it. You know how, like, FBI people, like, I could tell there's only 4 bullets in this chamber. That's how I am with a burger. I knew. I'm very picky. I usually get a plain back then. It was a classic double, and I could tell they put all the shit on there I didn't want, tomato, lettuce, and their lettuce sucked. So I was like, oh, damn it. And I get off the highway, and I'm about to drive past the Wendy's off of Clybourne in Fullerton. And I'm like, wait a minute. I get through the drive-thru and I tell them they screwed up the order. I returned a burger from 8 miles previous Wendy's to a different Wendy's, and they were like, wait, what? I'm like, yeah, I got a classic double. You put stuff on it. I just realized it, so I'm back. I got a receipt. They didn't check the address on the receipt.
See, now that's fucked
They
up.
totally switched it out. You know, Blockbuster used to be able to return different DVDs to different Blockbuster locations. Why can't Wendy's be the same?
Well, but lower level fucking whoever his name is, he's like, I swear I didn't fuck up any burgers today.
That's
Like,
true.
I
You
know
got
I fucked up yesterday. Like, I made sure I made everything well today, and you just threw them under the bus.
God damn it, you're right. I probably got someone fired. Shit.
Dude, all right, this is the last. We have to get off this topic. This is the last story of this.
Why? I'm enjoying this thoroughly,
But
Chris.
We had one of my cousins. His name's Omid. He came from Iran, and he had been in this country maybe for 3 weeks. This is like 10 years ago, and it was our job to hang out with him, get him acclimated. First cousin, so it's almost like your brother. We have a lot of cousins. We're all close, and my other cousin, we were both born here. We drive him to Burger King, and we get we'd hang out, we'd drink, and we would be by our parents' house, and so we'd go to these just different fast food places when we were high, and so we go by the Burger King, and we sent him in, and we're like, oh man, it's missing 2 of the Whoppers, you got to go in there. And he'd only been in for 3 weeks, barely spoke English. He's like, are you sure? And I'm like, please. I was like, yeah, they're missing. He's like, well, okay. So he goes in there, and the poor guy who's working the line is like, no, I put him in there. So they're arguing for 30 minutes, and my cousin's like, no, you owe the burger. And so he came back out, and we told him, we're like, oh, we were just messing with you. And he was so upset. He's like, you guys lied to me. He's like, I don't know he's like, why did I come to this country? And we're like, dude, wait till you go to college. We're just busting your balls.
Dude, what the fuck?
It's the most effed up thing that we did.
That's wrong.
You got to welcome him by fucking with his head a little bit there.
Exactly. Joe, why don't you tell us about your money problems you're having?
Well, I made some really stupid choices lately. I thought the Cubs were due for a long winning streak, and I said, let's let it ride. And then, 12 in a row, thankfully snapped recently, and I just don't know what to do. Do you have any advice for me on how to turn things around?
You could turn it around by going to Upstart.com. How about that?
How about that?
I fucked you over, Chris, and now I feel bad about it.
You got the dick
Oh, the
problems
dick one?
Yeah.
Well, I've had problems, so I'm glad.
You don't have to go along with it before. We know you're a stallion, okay,
Exactly.
Chris? Come on.
Upstart.com is a fast and easy way to pay off your debt with a personal loan that's all done online. Whether it's paying off credit cards, consolidating high-interest debt, or funding personal expenses, over 500,000 people have used Upstart to get one fixed monthly payment. Upstart knows you're more than just a credit score and is expanding access to affordable credit. So unlike the other lenders, they look at your income, your current employment, to find out a smarter rate for your loan. With a 5-minute online rate check, you can see your rate up front for loans between $1,000 to $50,000. And you can receive the funds as fast as one business day after accepting the loan, which is important. And find out how Upstart can lower your monthly payments today when you go to upstart.com/Eddie. That's upstart.com/Eddie, EDDIE. Go be smarter about your debt and get Upstart. So what else is going on, guys? When you pitched this to me as well, Bader, you were like, yeah, you just, because I'm not doing stand-up, obviously.
Sure.
I should have clarified that. I'm just we're going to do a little 5 minutes after. I'm going to have to do something, I'm realizing, out of the gate, right?
But you're great at interviewing. That's what you do, podcasting, interviewing. So I just thought your fans would want to come out and see you. So yeah, you go out there and you say hi, they're going to laugh, and because they know you. We always say in comedy, you have the first 30 seconds if you're famous, or if they know you, the first 60 seconds. After that, it's up to you. So you go out there, and then you introduce each of us, and we do our stuff, and we sit down, and you comment on our set. You're like, oh, Bader, I didn't know that about you. That's sad.
Yeah. No, that makes enough sense. But that beginning is what we're...
When you see those lights?
Well, just the beginning, you're going to have to say something. Can't say, hey, how's it going, Chris Bader?
Yeah, you're gonna say a couple things.
Yeah, you're quick on your feet, man. I've heard you interview people before too. It's not, and what Chris means by the first 60 seconds is once your name is said, everyone's gonna be like, yeah, going nuts for you, right? Mm-hmm. And then when that comes down a little bit, they're gonna expect a little, but it'll just be some smoothness. You'll thank everybody for coming out. You'll be like, this is for a great cause. We're gonna have a great time tonight. This is about having fun, and it's a celebration, and all this kind of good stuff. And then after that, you'll hear. Trust me, you're gonna pick something from each one of us. Where you're gonna be like, ooh, that's gonna be fun to explore. Or
that stuff. The in between will be fun,
easy.
And it'll be whatever. But that's what
I did kind of finesse it.
Initial,
I'm like, Eddie, it's so simple. You go out there, you just talk, because we wanted to get this done. I was like, it'd be fun, but if you can't swim and you still have floaties and you're 5 and your uncle just throws you in the pool without the floaties to see if you can learn, it's kind of like that.
Yeah, that's definitely what it is.
Good analogy. Yeah,
that's a very good analogy. Floaties are kind of polarizing nowadays. Did you know that? I found this out from my sisters. They got kids. So floaties, they're saying kids are too reliant on them.
Yeah, my niece has that problem.
Yes, they're saying.
She's 6, yeah.
Yeah, so then they're having this false sense of confidence, and then they're going to not realize that it's the floaties that are saving them. Does that make sense?
Well, Joe has kids.
I have kids. And we were in a lake recently in Michigan, and they had life preservers on. They're 4 and 2. And yeah, they definitely after
Do
a
they
while,
have that like chest protector?
they got like the chest
Yeah, yeah,
protector, like,
exactly.
and then
That's the
it
thing.
buckles underneath the crotch. There's like a strap on the back that goes underneath to kind of like fasten it in, which I love. I'm a very like protective parent, you know.
But
just
you know
don't
what I
trust
mean,
people.
though? Like, aren't like gonna have a like?
There's definitely a false sense of security I can
Yes.
see in there, but I feel like you get over it after like a week. I feel like nowadays everyone's always just like, you can't let that happen because this will happen. And I go, yeah, and then 2 days later they're over it, right?
Yeah.
I did realize this about my 2-year-old son especially. There were several times, he's wild. He's like a Tasmanian devil. There were several times from, I don't know, when he was like 8 months to the age he's at now, 2.5, where he would dive off of things. And I did like, remember they had like these dad saves compilation video of dads making incredible catches, saving their kids from breaking their necks. If there was video on me, I would have had like the best highlight reel ever. We're talking like Jordan level highlight reel because the number of times I've saved him. And it's gotten to a point now where I've thought to myself, I should have let him fall once or twice because he has no fear because he thinks he's always going to be caught.
Yeah.
So one time I think, I'm going to look at it, I'm going to assess it and be like, it's only a 3-foot fall. At worst, he tweaks an ankle. I'm going to let him fall this time because he needs to understand that there's a thing called gravity and it will knock you on your ass. So I guess with the floaties, you get too used to having something there for you. But then, one time you don't go under their, here's what you do, parents listening. You take your kid's head, you submerge underwater for about 8 to 10 seconds. Not enough for any damage or anything like that. They get up, they're out of breath, they're scared. And then they know, oh crap, I better learn how to swim correctly. And then that's it, right? You move on. That's simple. 8 to 10 seconds tops.
That's all.
No more than that. It's not a pillow. They're underwater. They, people can hold their breath for a minute.
Did you guys ever have that kid, that bully, who would dunk you when you couldn't swim?
Dude.
Oh, I had that, dude. It was awful. You never had that?
Oh yeah. Like when you get dunked, like, dude, how does that not happen more? Where like kids are like manslaughter, 11-year-old. You know what I mean? Like,
why aren't we talking about that? Like those bullies, every time they look for your mom, and if she's not looking, they're just like, get out.
Yeah, exactly, dude.
That happened to me so many times when I was growing up.
All right, maybe 4 to 5 seconds. Does that make it better?
Joe wants to waterboard his kid. He's like, parents listening out there, dunk them for 10 seconds and then smile at them when they come back.
I gave you a
up.
shortcut on how to get over the floaties. So that's all I did.
Joe was just trying to find a solution to the problem.
Yeah, you throw a problem at me, I'm going to find a solution.
Exactly.
Is everyone going to love it? No, maybe not. That's.
What about training wheels? How old were you guys when you guys got yours off?
I didn't.
You rode with the one on for a while, didn't you?
No, I didn't really have training wheels that long. I really didn't. But I was kind of late to the bike riding game. I didn't. You know how it is on the block. One kid gets the bike and then everyone gets it. So on my block, I don't remember everyone being like all crazy about it. Where I knew other blocks where kids at like 4 and 5 were riding around on training wheels. Maybe not 4, but 5 or 6. I think I picked up a bike at like 7 or 8. And then, at that age, you don't really need the training wheels that long. You just kind of get it going.
Mm-hmm. Hey, but those kids were a rite of passage, though. The kids that would try to murder you by drowning, they would hold you under. That's like, like the McDonald's ball pit or like the Caesar Land. Remember those kids that would just block it and would just like beat the fuck out of you in those things?
Yes, dude, I got beat up so much when I was little.
Why do you think that is?
Oh, I was an annoying kid. Like I just would ask 1,000 questions. I was always curious, and not even to be annoying. I would just keep asking questions.
Curious, Chris?
But our parents would just leave us. Like I see my sister with her kids now, and like all these parents like nap time, this and the like regimen, and I don't have kids, but our parents just drop us off. Like if you were 5 or 6 and anyone there was over 10, like you just get dropped off, and they come back 6 hours later and they hope you're alive. So you're just being watched by 12-year-olds, 13-year-olds. They're just beating the shit out of us.
Statistically though, things are safer now. They really are than they were in like the late 80s, early 90s. Statistically, things are much safer. The difference is, and as great as social media is for the world we're all in, being comedians and sports bloggers and podcasters, it scares the shit out of people. If there was social media back then, our parents wouldn't have let us out the same way. But now with social media, anytime a gangbanger cuts a fart, there's a link to be shared on Facebook. Dude. And it scares everyone to being like, you can't let your kids do this. When I was 13 years old, my dad told me this when I was like 11 too. He goes, when you turn 13, I'll give you some cash. You and your friends can take the bus to Wrigley Field all by yourselves. So I was like, can you imagine nowadays someone letting 4 13-year-olds sit in the bleachers by themselves? That's what we did.
Yeah.
It was 1997, so I'm telling you my age right now. And it was $6 a pop. That's how cheap bleacher tickets were. But then in 98, so said 66 bombs, and that was cheap bleacher tickets, right? Great summer. But literally, I grew up, we walked down to the Addison bus, like 6-block walk, and took the bus all by ourselves. And I've told people this story and they go, that's insane. And they go, well, things were better back then. I go, no. 1997 had way more murders in Chicago than the last couple of years and a more petty crime and all that too. The difference is now it's just so in your face that people get so easily scared about it.
Big time.
So I didn't mean to make it like a real big serious point.
No,
we could go back to making fun of Chris too. I'm sorry about that.
No, I mean,
but
now
it's just-
four 13-year-olds have guns. So they
had him back then too.
They did?
Yeah, they just wasn't. Think about it. Anything that happens now, you hear about it a million times. Everyone has an opinion. You know how growing up, like that person you didn't like, you didn't care what they thought? Yeah, because they didn't have a platform. Now you're scrolling through social media and you're like, oh, God, this guy I played Little League with. Why'd I accept his friend request?
Yeah, dude.
Oh, great. That's what you're doing now? All right, cool, man. All right.
Yeah,
like, it's
people
kind of like that.
Like we were talking about it on last week's show. People are probably like regularly dying at water parks and shit.
Yeah.
You know?
That
But it was
also
just
weird.
like a news clipping. And if you didn't buy the paper that day, you didn't know.
Yeah.
Now it's like, oh my God.
Dude, water parks didn't scare me.
Water parks were
Roller
insane,
coasters,
dude.
roller coaster, like Great America scared the shit out of me.
Really?
Like it, yeah. Oh, because remember the American Eagle?
That thing was the scariest
That
one.
fucking
It
thing.
was wood.
That thing should have never. Who made that thing? And at least 1,000 people died in the American Eagle. It's a lie. If that should be investigated. It is the greatest lie in the United States because you'd go up that wooden thing and this little bar was in front of you and that was it, and you just go drop down like that. There's no way one guy for $9 an hour who's high as hell just going like this was in charge of the whole thing.
Yeah.
Like,
well, I'm surprised there's not a documentary about that yet. It's coming though.
The
Growing
American
up, I thought
Eagle.
SeaWorld was awesome. Like, dude, things change. Yeah, it's
Dude,
crazy.
you ever been to SeaWorld though?
It's fun. It's pretty fun.
It's pretty fun.
It is.
And it's like I feel bad saying that now, but it was a nice family vacation.
Dude,
back in the
walruses
day.
high-fiving you, and then
Yeah.
you grow up and you're like, Santa's not real, right?
but have you been in the zoo recently?
No.
Yeah, I was at Lincoln Park about a month or so ago.
Yeah, but with your kids, though, right?
Yeah.
But if you
No,
go
I
to
went
the-
by myself, just strolling the park.
I've walked through the zoo as an adult. And I'm not afraid to say it. And
It is free. Yeah, you can walk
and
right in.
but it
Big
is.
zoo lights
It's
guy.
sad. It's sad when you're not like a kid excited. Everyone's sad in those cages.
Yeah.
Like everyone's just sad. It looks like
the
me
rhino
hungover
looked
on a
really
Sunday.
mad.
Like
The rhino was pissed off.
But have you guys seen a rhino recently? That's a dinosaur. They look like dinosaurs to me, man. They got like these crazy thing that tusk or what is it? What's it called? Like it's like their ivory coming out
Horn?
of their nose.
Yeah,
The
just
horn.
the horn.
The horn. I don't know why. I was blanking on the word horn. Yeah. Elephants have tusks. You're right. Man, I'm looking at that thing. I'm like, that looks like a dinosaur. I've seen Jurassic Park. Rhinos are related to dinosaurs.
you're not doing your kids' homework. I hope.
No, I'm bad with
Yeah, what
animals.
is it? It's a whole.
We were at the
a
Museum of
tusk.
Science and Industry, and I was good with some stuff with that. But yeah, with animals, I'm like,
Dude,
what's
that-
that one? The spotted thing.
That's a great museum, actually.
Science and Industry? Yeah, they had the Marvel
yeah.
thing. A
It
little
is good.
overrated.
Was it? But
It-
even
you know
just
what?
like the tractor shit. was, like,
Dude,
kind
that's
of
the
amusing.
tractor, the trains. They got like the space thing where you could like push a thing and the rocket ship goes up in the air. That's pretty cool. But with the Marvel exhibit, I'm a big Marvel guy, so which I only just became a Marvel guy during the pandemic.
Oh,
so I
yeah?
got Disney Plus, so I was able to watch all the movies. I'm like, this shit's amazing. Why haven't I been watching this last decade? And then so my sons like it enough, but the Marvel exhibit, it would be cooler for like kids who are like 12. For a 4 and 2-year-old, it was so much of it was like, here's the print of the first Captain America in 1940, and they're like, I don't give a shit.
Yeah,
You know, I mean,
yeah.
they're young, so they just wanted to see more like live action stuff, which they didn't really have. Still a good exhibit. If you're a little older, you'll probably dig it, but if you got little kids, skip it.
That's good.
Save the
advice.
money. A little
Yeah.
financial advice for you.
You know, the thing about too, going back to American Eagle, remember it was always like termites under, like people were finding on it. So they thought like people were like these bugs were like murdering, like literally eating all the wood. And that made it like all the more terrifying.
Dude,
it's like, wait, what?
imagine a plane, Eddie. You're getting on a plane, and right before you get on, they're like, "Oh, you're only flying to Indiana, no big deal." But it's made out of wood. Like everything's made out of wood. That
It's
doesn't-
definitely
I
a
mean,
spirit flight of
That
roller
doesn't
coaster rides.
like there's termites. It's wood. How that ride is just.
Yeah, wood roller coasters are kind of fucked up.
You guys should
the more you
do
think about it.
snake draft of Great America rides
I would
because
love that.
Dude,
they're-
that would,
I'll admit I'm a wimp when it comes to those rides. I'm terrible. My wife's the opposite. She wants to go on the more dangerous, the better. She's like, if there could be one where my ankle hangs. She asked. I remember we were like just we weren't married yet or anything, and she's like, do you want to go on? Was it Iron Wolf where you're standing?
Yeah.
I was
Oh,
like,
yeah.
no way in hell am I
But it hurt your
standing on a
crotch.
roller coaster. Screw
Yeah,
that.
it hurts
And the
your- yeah.
Superman one hurts your crotch too, or the Batman one. It's Batman where you're kind of flying, right?
Yeah. Uh-huh.
No
that
dice.
was, you ever seen Richie Rich? The movie with Macaulay Culkin?
Yeah.
of course.
Iron Wolf was the ride on the front lawn.
It was. It's nuts.
That was good creative editing in that one.
Yeah.
But you think kids today, like with their attention span, I mean, obviously Great America's still around, to wait 3 hours in line. Remember, they'd say the line is now 2 hours, 45 minutes for for Batman. When Batman first came out, I was 12 years old, but we waited. We waited for 3 hours and whatever.
It's way better now, though. We would have to play with like the fucking chain link on the side of the banister. These guys got phones.
Oh yeah, that's right. They're just on their iPads.
It's got. What do we do in those lines?
You were horrible. You were miserable. You're right. You'd play with the chain link. That's why people are mean to each other. You flick someone's ear because you're like, I don't even mean to do that to you. I'm just so bored. Sorry, I was a jerk to you. Just that. I think that's how bullying started. The history of bullying was just someone who was really bored from waiting. It was like, I'm going to mess around. I'm going to smack this kid in the back of the head. And then that's how it happened.
Probably,
right? I don't know. Because there was just nothing. You're right, dude. These kids have it so lucky. And not to sound like old men, but when you think about it, the phone is just... I can't, if I'm anywhere, I remember I had to get a COVID test like a month or so ago, and I had to wait like 20 minutes. I was just on my phone the whole time. But imagine if I saw one person, I saw like an adult who was probably like late 50s, and they just sat there with their hands folded on their lap, just waiting 20 minutes. I'm just like, you're just in your brain for 20 minutes, huh? Yeah. Just nothing to distract you? You're just thinking about all the horrors of life for 20 minutes? Dude, you need a medal. That's insane.
Shitty magazines we read at the doctor's office.
God, highlights.
Yeah.
It's like, I found the pencil in the tree. What's next on this stupid book?
Think about the germs, too. Like the 7 other kids before you had chicken pox, had strep, and it's like, hey, rub this magazine. You're just going through all the magazines.
And what are those things called with the squiggly? It's like a roller coaster, but you got like a
maze?
Like a shape. You know what I mean?
A crossword puzzle?
No, it's like a toy. It's like a toy.
Oh, I know what you're talking about.
It's like
a slinky?
Where you kind of like move the ball through the thing, or it's like it's all connected. Yeah. That was a classic dentist office toys for kids.
Yes, dude.
I used to get yelled at for tapping on the fish glass too long.
Yes.
I'm bored, man. How long is this? My dad's yelling. The appointment was 2:30. How long we got to wait? Every dad was mad about that.
So I guess these kids actually might be smarter then.
Yeah, because they're learning. If I had a phone back then, I would have been learning everything.
Yeah.
Granted, probably on Wikipedia, but still, you're at least educating yourself a little bit. That's the best part, too. I don't know if you guys have, like, my dad is just never, it's not an internet guy at all. And we'll talk about something and be like, I think that actor was in this movie. And I'm like, I'll find out right now. And I think he's still impressed by IMDb.
Yeah.
He's like, literally, you can find out who was in anything? I'm like, yep. Every time I go, nope, they were in this movie. He goes, how do you know? I go, look. Just like, all right. I could tell they missed those old arguments that they would win by just being louder than everyone else, I missed the good bar argument where it's just like, who could be the loudest and the most drunk? And you, by default, go, you know what? I'm believing him. But now it's the cell phone just totally ruined those.
Oh, yeah. It's like, who was 6th in home runs in 94? It's like, oh, who's this guy? You could just argue. And
it's Jeff Bagwell.
You wouldn't have to run back and grab an almanac to figure it out. It was just...
Oh, the almanac. That was a standard Christmas gift for my dad.
Yeah.
I give a new almanac, sports almanac every year.
Or the Tell Me Why books. I got Tell Me Why books, Tell Me Why videos, and encyclopedias is what we got. Like
Tell me why.
10, 11, 12. Yeah, you just tell me why this, tell me why that. And then you just go through it.
Did Jeff Bagwell really lead the league in 94?
You said who's 6th? I guess you'd have been 6th. 1994 NL MVP was Ken Caminetti. I know that. R.I.P.
R.I.P.
For the NL.
Good
for
poll.
The AL, who was the 94 MVP? That's a great question. I don't know who would be off the top of my head. Ripken won in 92. Okay. Oh, no, Frank Thomas won in 94. He won 93, 94. Big Frank.
There you go.
There you go. I'm not even a Sox fan, and I know that. How about that?
Well, all right. Guys, thanks for coming in. This was fun. I don't even know what we talked about today, but we went a bunch of different directions, but it was good. And once again, where could they find the link if they just Google it? What would they Google, Bader?
I'm trying to think. Yeah, Joe's on Weed Street has it on their website right now. They just sent out an e-blast for it. And if you just look up Eventbrite, Joe's on Weed Street, it's on there, and we'll put the link in the comments too.
Yeah, the description here and everything. And then what's your social handles and everything?
Mine's at Chris Bader, ChrisBader on Instagram, and then it's at BAUBAKBADER on Twitter.
There you go.
I'm youtube.com/Joe Kilgallen. That's Kilgallen, K-I-L, like the word gallon, G-A-L-L-O-N. And then I'm at Joe Kilgallen on, Twitter and TikTok and Instagram and all that stuff. But if you like stand-up, I got like hours worth on YouTube.
Awesome. Yeah, go check that out. Thanks, guys, for coming in. Thanks, Bader, for setting it up and getting me involved. Come out next week. It'll be a good event. These guys will be fucking in their element, telling jokes, and we'll be talking about it afterwards. So come do that. All right, that's it, everybody. Thanks for listening. We'll be back tomorrow. We'll see you then.